let's just understand what are your expectations from this session. Okay, can you guys start picking in the chat, like what do you expect to learn from this session? Strategy, okay, yes. How to get into Google without mess. Okay, how to get job in Google. Yeah. How to crack Google. Things necessary to prepare for an interview. Step-by-step plan, revision intervals, tracking process. How much? Oh, okay. I guess more or less everyone has the same sort of expectations from the session. That's great. Okay. Okay. So we'll be pinging up a Telegram community link here. Okay, please join the community because me and other mentors will be, sharing resources there, and we'll be hosting Ask Me and Anything sessions and things like that. So please, please join that Telegram community. Can someone please ping the Telegram community link here? Or maybe I will give me a minute. Okay, can you all see the link? Okay, please join this Telegram community so that I mean you can join the community, and then we'll be sharing a lot of resources and everything there. Okay, is this a video session? Yes, it is a video session. I hope you can see me. Okay, so let's get started. So now understand what your expectations from this session, and this is what I'll be targeting. This is what I'll be covering in this session. I'll be covering the perks of working at Google, the various levels at Google, and how they compare with the levels at other companies. I'll also be talking about the hiring process at Google. How can you prepare your resume? How can you prepare DSA? How to prepare for other rounds at Google? Okay, there are other rounds, system design or Google leadership and everything, and then how can you apply, and then bonus steps. At last we'll have a Q. Okay, so okay, so for questions I'll be giving you some time to, if you have any questions, so then you can ask me questions, and then I'll be happy to answer your questions. Okay, so let's start. Do you guys know me, who I am? Do you know my name? You can ping in the chat if you know if you know who I am. Yep, I am Harsha. Okay, so I am Harsha Gupta. Okay, let me give you a quick intro about myself. So I have done my BTech from a Tier 3 college in Uttarakhand, and then I did my MTech from IIT Kanpur. I had a GATE CSE rank of AIR. I had a 111 rank GATE CSE 2000. Then I interned at IBM Research. It was a research internship where I was working on explaining anomalies. Then I have worked for 2 years at Microsoft. Then I was working. There's an app in the new Microsoft Surface devices called Surface app. So I was working on that, and now I'm working in Google as a software engineer. I'm working on search platforms. Okay, so that's a quick intro about myself. Let's know the audience. Okay, I really want to know, like, about you guys. So there's a form. Can There's a link. Okay, can you click on this link? If not, I'll also be sharing. Did you get into a Microsoft Theoretic placement? Yes. Okay, I have pinged the link in the chat. Please open this link, and please click on. Please enter your responses. Okay. So I'm also showing what this form is about. Okay, what describes you the best? If you are currently in college, you can click on student. If you are working professional, or this typo, just click on working professional. And if you have yeah, yet to start working, just click on graduate. Okay, and then you can also, okay, another typo. So then you can also mention how much experience do you have. Okay, so like me, I have 2 to 3 years of experience, so you can just mention that and just submit this form. So please Please, fill up your entry so that I'll be able to understand my audience better. Okay. I'll give like a few more seconds for you to, enter your enter details about yourself. Okay, so we have like 54% of students here, and there are 21% of working professionals and around 25% of graduates. That's good. And most of the audience, 69% of the audience doesn't have much experience, and like 30.5% of the population has 0 to 1 year of experience. That's good. That's good. Okay, so most of you are, I mean, are yet to, either yet to join the industry or are new in the industry. So that's good. That's good. Even I mean, I have like 2.5, or almost 3 years of experience now. So yeah. Okay, and actually, this is what we have targeted. This is what we have kept in mind while organizing this session. Okay. So let's start with the perks of working at Google. Okay, what do you guys think that are the perks of working at Google? Start thinking on the chat. Just start thinking on the chat only. Your chat here, right? What do you think are the perks of working at Google? Free food, okay. No work-life balance. Oh, that's not true. Free lunch, free dinner too, and free breakfast too. Yeah, work-life balance, yes, good. Okay. High competition, well, sort of, yes. Working with talented people, yeah, that's really good. Good working environment, great, great culture, true that. And top company at first place, yeah, that's true. Great salary, yes. Competitive environment, exposing ourselves, easier to switch. Okay, well, you first join Google, then think about switching, no? Anyway, so these are some perks of working at Google, right? We have great work culture at Google. Okay, the people are great. Everyone is very much work oriented but fun. And free food, obviously, not just lunch. We have free breakfast, free dinner, free snacks. Okay, and free cabs, so to and fro from offices free. Or and we also get cool swags and goodies. I don't have anything on my table right now, otherwise I would have shown. Brand value, obviously, yeah. I mean, when you're working at Google, I mean, there's a certain reputation attached with that. Okay, and yeah, great compensation. Google, as you know, that Google is one of the highest paying jobs in the country. Okay, now let's talk about the greatest perks of working at Google. Right, you get to work with one of the smartest people in the country, and I'm not just saying it. I've been working with people, and I'm seeing how smart they are, and how they think, the kind of thoughts they have, and the kind of ideas they have, and it's really inspiring, and it's really, you feel privileged to work among such people. Secondly, you build products that are going to be used by billions. We all know that the customer base of the user base of Google, okay, and this is actually one of our motto, like build for billions, okay. So the products that Google makes are being used by a lot of people. So there's significant impact. You have to work on technology that can align with different people in different communities, different countries, that speak different languages. So yeah, and then work on latest and coolest technology. So one of the coolest things that are in the market right now, we are working on that. And yeah, our tools are getting smarter and smarter every day. A funny thing which I will share with you is, so yesterday I was building a quiz for you guys, and I just typed the question in the Google form I was creating. I just typed the question, and and it suggested me the answer itself, without, I didn't even put an option. It suggested me the answer for that itself, and it was a DSA question. So just, you can just imagine how how much how much cool work the Google is doing, and you can also work on such cool stuff. Okay. Okay, so what are the various levels at Google? Since most of the people are here are new, I'll just talk about the first few levels. So first is the L3, which can be an entry level job too, and people who have like 0 to 3 years of experience usually join in the L3 bracket. Okay, then we have the L4 bracket, which is 3 to 6 years of experience. Okay, we call it software engineer 3. So people who have 3 to 6 years of experience join at this level. And then we have L5, which is team lead level, and some people have L3 and L4 is reporting to them at this level. So you must have 6+ year of experience and significant leadership skills. And then they are L6 and L7 and so far. Okay, but since the audience here mostly is from can fall mostly in these three brackets, so I'll be talking about this. If I talk about myself, I'm in L3. I'm at L3 level right now, and let's see. So how does these levels? So I know this all can get confusing. What is L3? What is L4? Right? So this is a comparison of various levels at various companies. So L3 bracket in Google compares to Microsoft SDE and even some SDE too. So the 59, 60, and 60 levels are comparable. Similarly, the SDE1 at Amazon and SD and L3 at Google are comparable. Yeah, 6 to 7 round interview, all our DS. Yeah, so we'll be talking about that thing, like how what are the rounds and everything. Okay, give us time for that. Now, what is the hiring process? So the first step will be resume shortlisting. Your resume will be shortlisted. Okay, for that you need to have a great resume. Then we will have an online test or sometimes a preliminary screening interview. What are these? I'll be talking about them in details. Sometimes you'll have to go through both. There'll be an online test and then there will be a preliminary screening. Sometimes there's just preliminary screening, sometimes there's just online test. So it can be different for everyone, but usually there's this. After you clear the preliminary screening, there are going to be technical interviews. And this is the good thing about Google, that if you have cleared a preliminary screening, you will go through all the technical interviews. Usually there are two coding rounds for a level L3 and L4, and for level L5 there will be one more system design interview. Okay, and but based on your performance or based on the level, like sometimes you will be interviewing at L4, but your performance doesn't look very well for L4, so they will take one more interview to be sure about it, like whether to hire you for L4 or not. Okay, so there can be more, but there will be at least two technical interviews. Okay, now a lot of you might say that, okay, I have this friend who went to this. Yeah, so the process has changed. Okay, when I joined Google, I had to go through four coding rounds after a preliminary screening, but the process has changed now. Okay, what should be there in the resume to be shortlisted? Yes, I'll be talking about that. Can you share your LinkedIn handle? Yes, I will be sharing that by the end of the session. Okay, anyway, you can search me on LinkedIn, and this is the handle actually. Okay, so okay, and then we have a GNL interview, which is called a Googliness and Leadership round. So they will be taking it, they'll be just judging you on how well will you fare in team, how will you work on in different situation and everything like that. And then there's a fit call. Fit call is basically you will get to talk to the hiring managers, and they'll see if you fit in the team, and you will see if the team is good enough for you. Okay. So, okay, and a quick knowledge check. What does GNL stand for? That a GNL route that I just talked about. Please ping in the chat. G and L. Anyone? Atisha, it's Googling and lead. Hey, how does GNL stand for behavioral knowledge? Googliness and leadership. Okay, googliness, googly learning. No, and leadership. Yeah, so it stands for googliness and leadership. Okay, so how googly you are, and how much leadership skills do you have? Okay, now moving on. So yeah, a lot of you are asking like, how should you build your resume to get shortlisted in Google or other big companies? So what I'll be talking, the tips that I'll be talking about your resume are not going to be specific for Google. These tips will also work for other companies. Okay, just remember that your resume sells you. So make sure to highlight why the company should hire you. If there are some good things on your resume, make sure that you highlight them properly. I've seen sometimes what is happening. So I was taking a resume review session for someone, and they had this problem that, sir, our resume is not getting shortlisted. So I looked at their resume, okay, and they have done great projects, but I don't know why they pushed the projects in the last. So I mean, I had this resume review session with them on pre-placed, and I suggested them. to put the projects a bit, up, so that they can be easily noticed by the recruiter. Thankfully, that helped them out, and they got an internship at, I think, Microsoft. So yeah, your resume is one of the, so this is the first thing we see about you, and we decide whether to go forward, because taking your interview and everything is going to be, a company is going to invest a lot in conducting your interview. So first they have to, get this, they have to judge that, are you even worth that effort? So that's why a resume is very important. Okay. Then so just remember that you're writing for your resume for a technical role, so make your resume technical too. Sometimes people just mention a lot of xyz things, that I mean, projects they would write that I was working as a marketer for some xyz company. If you're applying for a DSA role, a project in marketing or internship in marketing is not going to help you. So for a technical role, make your resume technical. Okay. Again, and the point is, discuss your project, okay, your work, your internship. So your, if you are a working professional, your work experience or your internship experience is going to be one of the most important thing in your resume, so make sure you discuss about them properly there. Okay, I'll be more discussing more on how, what you should mention and what you should. Okay, so and if you are a student, and even if you are a working professional, projects are a very, very important thing on your resume, because they show that, okay, you have worked on things, and what are the type of things you have worked, what is the kind of tech stack you have worked on before. So they're very important on your resume. So make sure that you write good projects, highlight them, what did you learn there, what kind of impact you had. Okay, make sure to write. Again, you should customize your resume according to the JD. This is very important. So sometimes I have seen people applying for a software engineer machine learning role, and then they are applying for a, with a resume which has just, theoretical project like computer science theory. So that doesn't really help you. So just see the JD, the job description, see the job that you're applying for, and make your resume accordingly. Okay, keep your resume simple. Yes, very important. No need for, all this progress bar, that hey, my Java proficiency is this much, and images and all sorts of, like, graphics, and just making it complicated. Okay, so if I have to look for your projects, you would have, sometimes people would write something, things in French. Okay, for project they have written it in French or something. Don't do that, please don't do that. And at last, just remember that your resume will have to go through ATS. Okay, okay, it's an automated system that will just look at your resume and either select or reject it. So make sure that your resume is ATS friendly. Okay, so how can you make it ATS friendly? Don't include too much graphics, don't make typos, grammatical mistakes, keep consistent formatting. Okay, and don't complicate the structure too much, keep it simple, keep it very simple. Okay, now, how to build a good resume? The first step that you should take is make a master resume first. Okay, just write down everything you have. It can go to 4 page, 5 page, whatever. It doesn't matter. But yeah, remember that your final resume has to be 1 page only. Okay. Now, choose a good resume format. After you have made your master resume, you have added whatever you think that might be relevant for your resume. Just choose a good resume format. Okay, simple formatting, standard formats, no graphics. Okay, use standard format. Don't use too much curly, too much italics, and everything. Okay, just keep it simple. Okay, then according to JD and according to what is the importance of everything, add sections from your master resume to your main resume. Okay, put them in your final resume, and yeah, again, keep your resume to 1 page. And very important, get your resume reviewed by industry experts. Okay, so like people like I have been working at Google and Microsoft. I have been conducting interviews. I'm seeing what kind of people get into the companies. Okay, what does the resume look like and everything. So show your resume, get your resume reviewed by people who have been hiring people for companies, like for big companies like Google. Okay, so that they can tell you that is your resume at par with them, okay, or be better than, or if it's not as good as them, and what can you do to improve your resume, or what can you do to add things on your resume. Okay, now final what do's for your resume. When writing about your experience, focus on highlighting your impact and technology. Okay, don't write xyz stuff I worked on, and don't keep it generic. I worked on some bugs. Okay, I worked on adding some features. Don't do that. Be specific. What did the feature, what was the feature that you added, and what was the impact of it? That, okay, users can do this. Okay, there was there were 10 million users of the API that I built, or latency time was reduced this much, or accuracy was improved that much. Mention these things and mention your technology. What did you work on? Now, in your project, describe what you did and the technology. Again, just write what you did. Just don't be generic. Okay, I just built a library system. But what did you do in that library management system, right? And what was the technology you used? It is one of the most important thing in your projects. Okay. Again, the other thing, if you don't have projects to add in your resume, do some projects. Don't write, fake projects. Because if I see a project on your resume and I start asking you about it, you will not be able to answer, no matter how smart you are. So it's better to do your own projects and then write it in your resume. Okay, only add relevant projects to your resume, as I just said. Okay, if you're applying for a software engineer role, there's no need for mentioning too many, machine learning projects there. Okay, so according to the JD and according to what kind of role you're applying and what kind of person you are, what kind of interest do you have, keep relevant projects on your resume. Okay, also add the courses and certifications you have done. Okay, but write only about the subject you're confident about. Let's say you will write something, I have done machine learning course, then I'll start asking you about questions about machine learning, that hey, what is logistic regression, and then you struggle, oh, okay, so logistic regression was this, that I will know that you have not done it. Okay, so write the courses. Even if so especially for students, they would prefer writing the courses they have done in their bachelor's or masters. So go ahead and write those courses in the resume. Okay, and mention your hackathons. If you have done hackathons, if you have done some coding competition and everything, do write them there. Okay, they show that okay, you have been trying to learn things, trying to gain skills. So yeah, it's very helpful. Highlight important keywords in your resume. So there will be important keywords in your resume, like okay, I improved accuracy to this much, okay, or I have worked on this tech stack, or things like that. Highlight them on your resume. Okay, just bold them, and yeah, that's enough. And if possible, add links to your projects. So for a project, for your certifications, if possible, add links to them. Put them on, host them on GitHub, and add links to your projects on the um, on your resume. Hey, I know that you guys have been asking a lot of questions here, but since I'm focusing here, I'll give you time for this. Okay. Um, Now, don't. What are the don'ts on your resume? Okay, don't write some random generic skill that yeah. Okay, just unnecessary stuff which doesn't need to be there. Okay, um, things like some people would write like okay, have interpersonal skills, have leadership skills, not really needed. Some people would write their parents' name or hometown, not really needed. I don't need to know that to hire you. Okay, what I need to know is your technical aspects. Mention that. Okay, and don't make typos. Okay, don't make typos, don't make grammatical mistakes, don't do things like that. Okay, that's a huge no from recruiter. Okay, and even from ATS. Okay, ATS will reject your resume. um Keep your formatting consistent. Don't make like somewhere it's like you're using some XYZ font and then XYZ. I mean, I can understand that for heading you have kept a different font, and for bullet points you have kept a different font. That's fine, but it's not like for this heading there's a different font, for this heading there's a different font, different size and everything. Don't do that. Be consistent with your resume. Treat it professionally. Okay, and invest some time in preparing your resume. Okay, it's a resume, not a party invitation. So don't make it too much colorful, don't add too much graphics, bars for like, okay, I'm this proficient in C++ and this, not really needed. Keep it very simple. And very, very, very important thing, don't lie on your resume. Okay. Please don't lie on your resume. Okay. Because you will be caught definitely. Um, few more don'ts that you should not do. I know a lot of people, I've been seeing this in my resume revision. A lot of people write like, oh, I have done 1,000 questions on lead code, I have done 500 questions lead code. That doesn't really need to be on your resume. So people would write that in achievement. That's not really an achievement. Okay, that's something you are doing for yourself and to be ready for this interview. Not really needed on your achievement section. Okay, like I said, no need to add bars. If you don't know any technology, don't list it. I have seen people fail, getting caught in that. They would mention some technology and then they won't know anything about that. Don't use personal pronouns, right? Okay. Don't use things like I built a model that was able to detect that was able to predict the house, the cost for a house. Don't do that, right? Built a model that was able to do. Don't use IV and things like that. Don't use them on your resume. Okay. And don't write paragraphs, like exactly, don't write a paragraph about what you have done in your some company or some project. Make bullet point, like small bullet points, okay, so that it is easier for for the recruiter to read and just grab quickly, like whether that makes sense or not. Okay, very important. Again, I've seen people getting into trouble for the legal trouble for this. So while you're talking about your work experience, don't reveal company secrets, don't reveal internal details that you should not disclose with someone else. Okay, these things can get you into trouble. Okay, so please don't do that, and be careful while writing things like that. Okay, don't write your grades in the courses you have done. Yeah, so you have to write your grade. Okay, that I have got this much CGPA in a BTech or this much CGPA in your school, but don't write it. Okay, I got A in machine learning, I got B in distributed systems and things like that. Don't do that. Okay, and yeah, again, avoid formatting inconsistencies. Okay. Now, before we move on to this next section, do you have some questions on do you have a question on the resume building thing? I'll be taking some questions here. Okay, just please please ping in the chat if you have some questions regarding resume building. So can you share resume? You might be able to find that on LinkedIn. If not, yeah, I will. Can you share a format for resume? Any standard format, any simple format works. Okay. Show one example. Can we photo in? Okay, if you guys really want to see my resume, maybe I can pull that up. Okay. Can we mention the contest ranking for lead code? Yes, you can. Sir, I'm a first tester, don't know much about project. Can you recommend where and what type of project? Yeah, so actually that will need a bit more detail. So yeah, I'll definitely you can definitely book a session with me and we can talk about it, like what kind of projects should you do. Okay, sir, is resume shortly? How does referral play role? Yeah, it's good to get referred because that brings you to the top. Okay, and how to get your resume reviewed from experts. So like like session from I review resume from people. So I'll be sharing a link in the end. You can book a resume review session with me. And by the way, there's a surprise for you guys by the end of this session. So please stay till the end of the session. There's a surprise for you. Okay, if lead code and CF rating should not be in achievement system, then where to put it? No, you can put your lead code and CF rating, but don't write things like I've done X many questions, I've done Y many questions. Don't write that. Sir, Google Kalia resume concept technical project बनाए AI. I'll have to actually take a look at that and then recommend that. How to get your resume reviewed from expert? Like I said, I review resume, so I'll be sharing the link for that by the end of the session. And there's a surprise for you, so please wait. Actually did some ML projects only, but in that I worked only on front end. Can I still add my resume? Yeah, but mention that you worked on the front end. I'm really get confused how to explain project in resume. Please tell briefly. Like I said, talk about what you worked on and the impact. How to get resume, how to include referrals. You don't include referrals in resume. You send your resume to someone to get referred. How to get referral when you don't have any friend at Google? Well, I can, I mean, I'll try to help you out with that. Which tool you use for resume building? So I use LaTeX for resume building. So on Overleaf, I use LaTeX to build my resume, but you can also do it in docs. Okay. And while sending out your resume, please don't send it in doc format or something. Always send it in PDF. Okay. Please don't spam the question section with the same question again and again. CGPA will play a role only for campus placement. Sometimes not even for that. Okay. How to get referral when you okay again. Some example of project for Google. I'll be showing my resume. I have participated online. I got on build months. Yes, you can. Um, okay, so these are some questions that I'll be taking more questions by the end of the session. I'm sharing my resume here. Okay. So this is the resume I used to get the job at Google, and this resume was also selected by people from Facebook, Amazon, Goldman Sachs, DE Shaw, Flipkart, Goldman, and yeah, many such companies. This resume also helped me get a job at Facebook. So see, I have kept it very simple. I have mentioned my education here, some skills that I have, the research work that I have done. my achievements. Okay, I mentioned my rank. I mentioned that I got academic excellence award and a hackathon I participated in. I've written my interests to here. I've written my experience. So I've discussed that what I did work on. Okay, and what are the technologies that I used and everything. Okay, and then I also talked about my another intern experience. So on project, you see, I have just mentioned like small details about them, that I added features to Microsoft Teams like video tagging and what did I use, the technology that I used. Similarly, for cross-device, this second project, I've just mentioned like what did I do and what did I use to keep it short, and that's why I was able to add so many points here. Okay. Anyway, coming back to the session now. um, Now, how to get ready for your interview? First, you have to, yeah, no one is born ready. Okay, you have to prepare for it. So first, you have to start basic coding, like get familiar with loops, looping constructs, and selection statements, everything in one language. Okay, then you move on to DSA. Start out with easy questions. Please pay attention. This is going to be very important. Move on to DSA. Start with easy questions. Okay. Um, like some basic questions on stacks, queues, arrays. Okay, then move on to some medium questions. Okay, some medium level questions which are more involved, and we'll start learning. Okay, then you should start working on topics like graphs and dynamic programming and backtracking and things like that. Okay, now how many questions are enough? There's no answer for that. I get this question a lot, and there's no answer for that. It depends all on you, on how much questions you need. I was very well prepared already before my Google interview. So before my Google interview, I think I had done just 300 questions and I was ready. But that's because I kept doing coding all the time, and I don't even know how many questions I had already done like 6 months ago or something. So that will be different for you, and especially for the topic, like, okay, if you have done 80 questions in dynamic programming and you still don't feel confident, go ahead and do more. Okay, do random questions after you have done covered all the topics. Start doing random questions. Okay, very important. Okay, because that will help you understand how can you see a question and judge the approach that is going to be used here. And then very important, do some mock interviews with industry expert. I'll also conduct mock interviews on pre-plays, so I can help you out with that. Or if you want to go ahead with someone else, okay, you can do that, but do mock interviews. And when I say industry expert, go for mock interviews with people, your friends or anyone. Okay, go with, but just, I mean, choose people who are already conducting interviews at good companies. So I have seen some people, giving mock interviews to people who are like interns and everything. They don't know how to conduct interviews. Okay, so I mean, approach someone who is trained on how to conduct interviews, who has conducted interviews at their companies. Like, I have conducted interviews at both Microsoft and Google, so because they will know how to judge you. Okay, and yeah, so, and it's actually very important. So I did a mock interview for this girl. Okay, and she asked me if I can conduct, how I can conduct a mock interview. I did conduct a mock interview on pre-page, and then she got an internship at Google. And she was telling me that, okay, there was this some point that you told me that, okay, focus on those, and I did focus on those, and yeah, that helped me ace the interview. And that happened because I knew, I mean, what are the things that interview will be looking at. So yeah, go for mock interview only with an industry expert. Okay. Now, choosing a language, please avoid C. Okay, because for everything, like for various data structures and everything, you will have to write code yourself. It is going to be very messy. So please avoid using C. C++, I prefer C++, even though I was very confident in Java, but I still use C++ in my interviews. I prefer that. The STL is very powerful. Okay, and lots of interviews actually are very comfortable in C++. So it's very easy to find um, you know uh, people who can interview in C++, because companies also schedule interviews with you and find interviewers for you based on your language preference. Java, very popular after C++. The code in Java is slightly larger as compared to C++, but it's good. Okay, you can also go ahead with Java. Okay, a lot of people interview in Java. Then Python, it's very fast to write code. Okay, a little complex to explain all the data structures, but very fast in writing code. And problem is not a lot of people are happy in conducting interview in Python, so it might be slightly harder to find an interview. But anyway, that's not your problem, that's recruiter's problem. But if you ask me what would I prefer, I would always prefer C++. Okay. So please share the, sir. Yes, I will be sharing. Please join the Telegram community for that, and I'll be sharing the uh, resources for these two. Now, data section algorithm topic. Okay, what are the topics that you should focus on? You could focus on time and space complexity, finding time and space complexity of various algorithms. Okay, what are the different notations for different notations for time and space complexity? You should do questions on arrays. Okay, there are various algorithms on arrays and strings, on string manipulation and everything. And we have linked lists and stacks, queues. We have sets and maps, standard sets and standards map. Then we have hashing, and we also have hash sets and hash maps. Okay, which are very time efficient. Then we should also do questions on binary search. Okay, on how, and there are different applications of binary search. There are very good questions of binary search. You can do that. Look at them. You can do them. And then various sorting algorithms like insertion sort, bubble sort, selection sort. Then we have advanced like merge sort, quick sort, heap sort. So those are also very important. There might be questions directly on them. There sometimes there are questions where you can use the the approach used in quicksort. So there are questions like that too. Then we have recursion. Okay, two-pointer approach, two-pointer questions. We have greedy algorithms, divide and conquer. Please take a note if you're not, because these are the topics that you should cover. Divide and conquer, backtracking, and BFS, DFS, graph, trees, binary search tree, tries, and dynamic programming. There are other data structures like segment tree, bit tree, and everything, but you don't really need them for interview. So I won't push you to go for them. But these are the basic data structure algorithm topic that you should be confident about while going for your Google interview. Now, a quick quiz we are going to do. Okay, I'll be giving you like 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes for this quiz. Please click on this link. If you can't, just I'm posting this link here on the group. Okay, and I will also be sharing my screen to talk about the question. Okay, please join this link. Okay, please let me know when you all of you have joined, and let's discuss the questions. Okay, please enter your email. Okay, let's say xyz@gmail.com. Okay. Now, which of these is the divide and conquer algorithm? Just put them. Oh, one very important thing in all these questions, I have put in an option. Please listen to it. That in all these questions, I have put a option don't know. So if you don't know about any answer, just select don't know. Don't guess. Because if you select don't know, I will know that okay, what is the preparation level and what is the work needed to be done on you. So please select don't know if you are not comfortable in any answer. Okay. I'll be selecting don't know in everything so that we can have a, so first question, which of these is a divide and conquer algorithm among these four? Okay. Then we have the second question, which is a question of stacks and queues. Okay, we have 5 items that are posted in a stack, one after the other, starting from A. Then 4 items are popped out of the stack, and each of them is inserted in the queue in the same order. Okay. Now 2 elements are deleted from the queue and pushed back on the stack. Now 1 item is popped from the stack. What is the popped item? Okay, and um, there's this question on adjacency. So we store graphs in adjacency matrix format. How much how much space complexity is it going to take? Okay. Then we have next question on binary search tree traversal. Okay, if you which traversal on binary search tree will give you sorted values? Okay. And yeah, which algorithm can't work on linked list? Then we have another question on binary search tree, and what is the usually more efficient way for dynamic programming? Okay, what is the more memory efficient way of dynamic programming? This is the question, the 7th question. What is the worst times complexity of inserting n elements into an empty linked list? Okay, what is the worst time complexity for inserting a binary search tree of n elements? And the last question is, which of the following algorithm has the lowest time and space complexity of? Okay, So I have submitted. After you submit, you can view your score. Okay. Please finish this quiz quickly, and then we'll move on with the session. Okay. You have time till 12:50 to finish the quiz. Meanwhile, I will be also taking up some questions in the chat. Okay. If I'm unable to answer any of your queries here, you can join the Telegram group, and I'll try to help you out with your queries there. You have got 5 out of 10. That's good, but yeah, you know that you need to. Then a mock interview price after at the end of this session, I'll be sharing a link, and you can check the price there. Okay, and there's a surprise for you, so please wait. 4 out of 10. Okay, needs improvement. Be quick. We have like 5 more minutes. We have a lot of things to cover, so yeah, please be quick on this. Can I go without DSA without development? Can you go without DSA with development? No, no, you can't. I'm sorry, that was my dog. How much time should one prepare for DSA? Okay, as a fresher. It depends actually on how much coding you have already done, how much DSA you already know, but it can take from 1 month to 3 months. Depends. Okay. Does Google look for a strong open source profile? If it would be great if you have a strong open source profile. Okay. Is MTech worth it for getting into? Yes, it is. I mean, I got into Microsoft from MTech only. Does Google hire other than SD like front end or full stack developers, and what are the other roles? You can check all the roles in the career stage. Okay. How to get internships in Microsoft, Google, and in MNCs? Yeah, the same way that I'm telling you about. Get strong in DSA, apply, get referrals, and everything. My resume got rejected from companies, I think because of gap years. Can you say something on it? It doesn't. It's not the case. It doesn't really happen. But if you can show me your resume, and I can take a look at that. Can you give resume tips to place in good company? Yeah, I have been giving that. If you have, I think you have missed that part of the session. I have already given the tips for resume. Okay. What skills are required to get into internship? Just good coding and everything is fine. I mean, it's an internship, so it's not expected that you'll already have some experience, but good projects too. How much CP necessary? By CP, I hope you mean competitive programming. It's not how much. It's never how much. It's just when you know stuff and you're able to solve questions. What if the person is beginner in coding and stuff? We all were beginner once, and yeah, that what I'm telling you is for beginner only. Start out somewhere. Start out with easy questions, and then you can go there. English is matter in interview time. It's good to have good communication skills, but if you are not very confident in English, maybe you can inform them. Okay. How to prepare for coding nuts? I have my coding exam at Amazon. Yeah, so do DSA, okay, and ping me. I can help you out with that. Are there any openings which are not on the career site? And no, most of the openings will be there on the careers page. Starting with Java is fine. Yes, it is. I'm in fourth STEM. Can I still carry? Yeah, why not? I mean, there are people who have done their graduation, and they will start, and they'll be ready in 3 4 months. Okay. Can we choose JavaScript as a language interview? Yes, you can, but then again, the same problem that it will be harder to find interview and everything. Is Udemy course necessary for placement? No, who says so? I mean, it's up to you how you want to prepare. How to do DSA revision? Yeah, okay. Keep revising from time to time. Keep doing questions from time to time. For worst case, this should be the. I think that was the answer only. Yes. Which type of DSA questions are asked mostly in Google interviews? Mm, I'm going to talk about that. Okay, let's. We have 1 more minute, and then we'll get back on the to the session. Sir, can ENTC student get job in Google? For what should I prove? What is ENTC? Is it electronics and communication? And yes, you can if you're electronics and communication student. I'm not able to implement DSA concepts in code. Yes, that's why you need more practice. Maybe get a mentor who can help you out with everything. Is if all the resumes go through the ATA, then how does a referral help? So referral puts you at the front of the queue. So and sometimes it's not like I always resumes go through ATA. Sometimes the recruiter look at them themselves. So yeah, should I do MTech or leave MTech and enhance my coding skills? Up to you. Up to you. Okay. You don't do MTech just for the job. You do MTech for MTech. I did not do MTech just for the job. Okay. Is aptitude necessary for interviews? Not in Google, but some companies ask aptitude questions, but very few. Any source for getting notifications about internship? I'll take a look and let you know. So can I get DSA course with full stack? Okay, that question. Okay. Can AI and student get into job in EQ technology? What is EQ technological? Is it necessary to do MTech to get hired in finance? No. I'm in third semester. I don't know anything about DSA. How should I start? Like I was talking earlier, right? Just start somewhere. Start with basic coding and everything. So that's it. 9 out of 10. Very good. Very good. Is it full stack or blockchain? Which one is best? The best one is where you are most interested in. There's nothing best or worst. It's all about your interest. Okay. Now let's get back to the session. Okay. You can still see my screen, I hope. So now, what are the problems that people face while preparing for DSA? Again, so they will not be able to solve even easy questions initially. I know that happens to a lot of people. I mean, I talk to a lot of people who have this problem. But yeah, if you keep doing it from time to time, even for initially, if you have to look at the solution for some questions, it's fine. But just don't give hope. And even if you have looked at the solution, still do those questions yourself. Consistency, yeah, some people are not able to maintain consistency. Be consistent, keep trying, otherwise it will be very hard for you. Getting stuck on same type of questions, yes, don't do that. Don't keep doing like 10,000 questions on stack. If you feel you're confident enough with stack, move ahead. Okay, move on to other topics. Finding it hard to recognize the approach to use, for that you need to do more random questions. Okay, you can solve but can't optimize. Again, random questions help there, more practicing will help there, and you should know about all the different algorithm and tricks that are there. And because that is how you will know the what is there, what is all there in your arsenal, and then you can use it. Can solve questions but not clearing interviews. This is also a problem I've seen with some people. And what usually why it happens is they are good at coding, but interview is not just about coding, it's a discussion. The interviewer should know what you're talking about, how you're explaining things, what is your approach. Some people, if you just give them the platform, they will write the whole code themselves, but they won't be able to talk about it in the end. And that's why you need to practice interviews before having your initial interview. Taking too much time to solve questions, yes, because the interview is limited. Okay, interview time is limited. Finding it harder to practice with current job education, yeah, that happens. But what I always say is just give like 1 or 2 hours at least every day, and it might take you some time, but at least something is better than nothing, right? And can solve easy questions but not medium and hard, I understand. But in again, if initially you have to look at some solutions, no problem, you'll get better with time. To test your preparations, participate in coding competition. Many platforms keep organizing weekly competitions, everything. And also hacker rank, and some platforms organize competition. And if you perform good in them, you might even get internships or jobs. So do that. Do random questions. Do lots of random questions, and have mock interviews with interview trained industry experts. Okay, go with the interviewers who have conducted interviews at their companies, and they know what is expected from an interview in the interview. Okay, now let's talk about the different rounds we have at Google. So first we have a coding test, like I just talked about. It will be a 45-minute coding round. They will mostly be two questions, sometimes they might be even three. Okay, you have to pass all test cases, but do remember that there will be hidden test cases too, and that your code should be optimized for time and space both. Okay, then we have a preliminary screening, as I talked about. So preliminary screening is just the same as a standard coding interview. It will be 45-minute coding interview. But the thing is that if you clear this interview, only then you will move ahead with all the other technical interviews. Okay. There will be 1 or 2 medium questions asked, and but not just the question, there will be follow-up questions on those questions too. Like let's say they ask you some question and then they will change it. Like, okay, what if this was this is not the case, then how will you solve it? Okay. And you have to solve the follow-up questions too. Write clean code, explain your code properly, explain your approach properly. Your code should be clean, it should not be very confusing. The solution needs to be correct, optimized, and bug free. There shouldn't be bugs in your code, and it should be correct and optimized. And it's not just that this is just to get to other rounds. Even the performances this round will be looked at in your final hire or no hire decision. Then we have coding interviews. There are usually two, but there can be three, four more. I mean, depending on the uh, level that you are being hired at. Okay, I mean, let's say if you are being hired for L4 and they are not able to make a conclusive evidence in the two interviews, they will conduct more interviews. Okay, but the thing is that you will go through at least two interviews. I mean, it's not like they will just take one interview and they'll say that, okay, no, you are not good enough. They'll take at least two interviews. So you will have a fair chance. Maybe for the first interview, you had a bad day, but you can perform well in the second interview. And in the end, they will look at all the interviews. Okay. And performing well in all round is important. Like I just said, it might happen that, okay, I'll tell you this happened with me. I had four coding round plus one screening round at Google. In one of the interview, it was not very good. It was good, but not very good. But the rest of four was very good. So based on the rest four, I was hired. Okay. So performing well in all rounds is very important. Now, there can be a system design interview, but this is only for candidates who are being hired for L5 plus. Okay, so you'll be asked to design a system like a URL shortener or a messaging app or something like that. Okay, you have to discuss the system in detail, how you will break it down into different components, how the components will interact, the LLD, the HLD, how there will be interactions with memory, how will you balance the load, how will you reduce the latency, everything will be discussed there. Okay, it's a very detailed interview and you need to prepare well for it. Then it's a very optional ML interview. ML interview will be only be conducted if you're applying for a software engineering machine learning role. Okay, not for a generic software engineer role. If you're applying for software engineering machine learning role, then you will go for a machine learning interview. Some basic machine learning questions will be asked. Okay, and you might also be given an example machine learning problem, like, okay, we are trying to do this. How do you think we should proceed with that? Okay, and difficulty level of this question depends on the level you are being hired at. One thing which I will tell you about Google's hiring process, a very nice thing that I see. So let's say you are interviewing for a L4 position. Your performance was not very good, but it was good. So it's not like they won't hire you. They might also suggest that, okay, let's not hire this person for L4, let's hire this person for L3, a lower level. But there's one more thing that they do. If you are being interviewed for L4, but you demonstrate exceptional coding skills, okay, and we can clearly see that, okay, you are great. I can also recommend that not L4, hire this person at L5. Okay, so I can always recommend you for +1 level or -1 level. Okay, now the last GNL interview, the mysterious GNL interview. Okay, it's called Googleness and Leadership interview. Okay, they will check your Googleness and leadership skills. Things like how well will you work in a team, how well will you work in ambiguity. Okay, how based on if you are thrown in this situation, how will you react, how will you do. Okay, and how will you still work towards your success. Note that this is not a HR round. They are not testing your English, they are not testing your communication skills or things like that. No, they're testing you. As I mean, they will evaluate you. How will you be like to work at when you become a Googler? Okay, so there will be questions based on your past experiences, like tell me about a time when you had a conflict with your manager. So it's more like a behavioral thing. And there can be some hypothetical questions too, like let's suppose that this happened and the code crashes, and what will you do then? How will you act in such a situation? So things like this. Last is fit call and final decision. So fit call is a discussion with various hiring managers. So they will see that whether you fit in their team, and you will see that whether I fit in their team. But this is what I have been told, that fit call has no role in your final selection. So let's say you did great interviews. So if Google wants to hire you, they are going to hire you. Fit call is just to select which team to put you in. Okay, so it has no impact on whether to hire you or not. Just it helps in selection of teams. Okay, and when you have done all rounds and we have feedback from all the rounds and everything, then the team will look at it and they will make the final decision whether to hire or not hire. So the final decision will happen only after we have looked at all the interview rounds. Okay, and yeah, like I said, you can get a higher level or a lower level, +1 or -1. Now how to apply. like apply on career portals. On career portals, you see various openings. Just go ahead and apply with on them. Ask for referrals. Ask for friends. Ask for people who are from your college and working in some company, or maybe try to make good connections on LinkedIn and approach people and ask them to refer you. Contact recruiters on LinkedIn. This is very important. Okay. Um, I think more than a referral, a recruiter can help you out. Okay, so recruiter would be a better help. But reach out to recruiters, send them your resume. So that way you are bypassing ATS because they are just seeing your resume directly. Show them your resume and tell them that hey, I'm this good at this and I want to interview for this position. Maybe they will be interested. Maybe they will give you a chance. And most of all, have a good LinkedIn profile. Okay, LinkedIn profile, put your achievements, your work experience, and everything there. I'll tell you one thing, I did not apply for Google. Google approached me on LinkedIn. They asked me to, we have this opening and they want to. And I think I know a lot of people who have been approached by Google themselves. So Google is also, um, on the lookout to, hire talent. So they will contact you themselves. Okay. The final suggestion, treat your interview as a discussion and not as a viva. Okay, so discuss with your interview. Don't just, it's not about you answering questions. Sometimes it's okay if you don't know really the answer, but you discuss with them. They will give you hints. Interview is not just about giving the right answer. It's just getting to the right answer in the right way. Sometimes they will give you a hint and you have to answer that. Doesn't mean that your interview was not well because you took a hint. Okay, and mock interviews are very important, like I said, because they will give you the taste of a real interview. See, if you do something wrong in your real interview, you might not know that. Okay, but if you do something wrong in the mock interview, the person can tell you that hey, you did this wrong. When you are going for a real interview, go for it. Like, so how I conduct mock interviews is I take 45 minutes in interviewing the person. The rest 15-20 minutes I go ahead and explain them what they did right, what they did wrong, so that they can fix their wrongs and they can even highlight their rights even more. Okay, like third thing is you never know what the interview is looking for, so keep doing your best. Sometimes you feel like okay, your interview is not going well, but keep doing your best. This happened with me once in an XYZ interview and I got the job offer from that company. What happened was, the interview asked me a question. I had no idea about that question, how that question is to be solved, but I tried. Okay, then the interviewer gave me some hint. I took up the hint. I went ahead with the solution. We kept doing that, and finally, we after like 20-25 minutes, we had a final solution. In my head, I was thinking, I'm definitely out because I did not know the answer initially, right? I took hints, so I'm definitely out of this interview. But after I got my feedback, I got to know that I was hired because of that thing only. Because the interviewer had mentioned that this person did not know the answer to this problem, but he did not give up. He took up hints and he still arrived at the right solution in there, and that is what is important. Okay, and the last point: don't get disheartened with rejection. Rejections are a part of the process. Okay, so just keep applying. If you're rejecting, at least just ask like why was I rejected, what can I improve on, and no worries, we'll apply again. Okay, and yeah, in the end, I would love to help. So this is my LinkedIn. You can just ping me on LinkedIn. I think somebody has already posted my LinkedIn in the chat, so I'm also pasting it again. Connect with me on LinkedIn, follow me there. Okay, and this is my pre-placed link. So you can book a session with me and or an interview preparation program with me. So there are two of this the what I'm trying to do on pre-placed is you can book an interview preparation program with me and I will be there as a mentor for you. I'll be guiding you in every step. There will be multiple sessions I'll be taking with personally with you. I'll try to understand your use case and I mean what is your current situation, where do you want to go, and I'll tell you the plan how we will go there. I will I'll be guiding you along the journey, and I'll take the responsibility of getting you in your dream company if you stay with me. Okay. Apart from that, I also do one-on-one sessions. Like you just want to connect, have a mock interview with me, or you just want some career consultation or things like that. So I also do one-on-one sessions with people. Okay, and you might have gotten the link for the community. Just join the community. I'll be hosting Ask Me Anything sessions. I will be sharing resources and everything. So yeah, I will do that. Before we get to the questions part, Preplace has an announcement to make. So, okay, before we go to that, let's just take up some questions, okay? If you have some questions, just ping on the chat. BCS students are eligible, yes. LinkedIn profile tips. Your LinkedIn ID, sir. Okay, I have already shared. How long will there be hiring freeze at BitTech? There's no such hiring freeze. Yeah, the hiring has slowed down a bit. There's no hiring freeze. I mean, I got an interview last week only. So, sir, how to contact you for resume shortlist and doubts? Like I said, you can book a session with me. And for those people who are leaving, we are still haven't, reached the surprise. So there's one surprise for you. And the surprise is that you got my LinkedIn, you got my sorry, you got my pre-placed link, right? We will be offering a we will be offering a 30% discount. Okay, you can check the chat. We are offering a 30% discount on any booking that you do with me on pre-placed for the people who have joined this session only. Okay, so just use this coupon code to get your claim a 30% discount. And yeah, let me help you in your interview preparation journey. Okay, and yeah, I'll be taking some questions for the next 5 minutes, and then people are getting fired all of the world. And yes, that's why it's more important to upskill yourself, more important to be skilled. Because if you leave one company, you can always find another job, but only if you are only if you have good skills. How often did you revise algos? Almost every week or 2 weeks, I think. Any good source of DSA would you like to? There are like many resources to offer. How you guide through those resources, that's important. Projects and there's a hiring freeze for freshers. No, there is not. So how I maintain my confidence during front of interview? Yeah, I mean that's why you need to practice interviews before going for a real interview. Okay, is there registration effect on fresher jobs? No. Can we add hackathon participant certificate in resume? Yes, you can add participant certificates. Um, some tips to prepare and be consistent along with job. Give 1 or 2 hours every day in your preparation, no matter what. Okay, if you don't get enough time, take out time from somewhere else, but be regular with it. Is it okay trying getting into a fresher with zero experience? How many months of preparation needed? Yeah, why not? Why you can get into Google as a fresher. A preparation needed depends on your level. It can go vary from like 2 months to 6 months. Okay. Mm, so can I mention this point that among top 50 from 40 applications for one of the related keepers for mentioned role? And no, it's too much for the recruiter to process. How many internship for require projects to get an internship? It's not, there's no number for everything. It there's more about quality than quantity. Okay. Can you please share details of your preparation strategy in model? So this whole session was based on my preparation strategy only. Okay. How long is the Google interview process end to end in months? It depends on the availability of recruiter. So you can finish the whole process in 1 month, or it can take up to 2 months. And gap between each interview, you can discuss with recruiter. Sometimes it's just 1 or 2 days. Sometimes they can be even weeks, a week or so. So yeah. Is there required DSA any for front-end development? Depends on the role. But yeah, usually DSA interview is conducted. Is it important to add your CGP in resume even if it does? Yes, you should always add your CGP. Okay. The charges are for 6 months. It depends. Okay. So the interview preparation charges are monthly. So it's up to you how you take up it. Do we need to write full code from scratch and pre-qualify around or only the function part? Mostly you will be just asked only the function part. Okay. Sir, I'm also get to know how can I score good rank. I would love to guide you on Gate CSC. Okay. So see you on pre-placed. So should I spend time to search people on LinkedIn to ask for referral? Yes, you should. Yes. Why do you advise on getting into SG goals having 2%? Why? Because well, I love tech. I love building softwares, and this is there's so much potential here. There are so much opportunities here. So yes, you should definitely try for SD if you are interested. More trips for fresher with zero to get into Google. Need a roadmap, please. Yeah, so please contact me for a more detailed roadmap. How did you grow your network for 40K people on LinkedIn? Well, I was just trying to help out people. I just started posting tips and tricks for people, like what should you do in your interview and everything. And well, people kept following. So that's how I grew my network to 40K people. I'm focusing on do I need DSA? Yes, for because web for everything you will need DSA. Okay, DSA is like a very basic thing. Does CGPA matter? Sometimes it might, but if you have great other things like great projects and everything, your CGPA will be ignored. Can the hiring manager interviews for a role if a friend pitches to him? Depends on company to company. I think there is a way for a hiring manager to directly schedule an interview for you. Okay. I'll just take five more questions. Okay. Is above 3.3 out of 4 great? Yeah, it's great. Can I message your LinkedIn for more tips or and so yeah, you can, or you can book a session with me or join the Telegram community. Sir, even solving all DSA questions, I don't get any interviews. Like I said, sometimes there are hidden test cases and you might not have been able to clear those, or maybe they were better candidates than you. Okay, but some usually what happens is there are hidden test cases that candidates don't know about and they think they did well, but uh, Jairam, I think I have already answered your question. Don't no need to spam it again and again. I'm confused where to start and lead. Start at easy questions. Start at easy questions anywhere. Okay. Just two more questions I'll be taking. If you have any question, just ping here. What type of project do we need? Depend on what type of project interests you, but usually it should show that you built something, you learned something. Okay. And if it's cool, if it's doing something good, then yeah, it's great then. But it should don't you don't need to do something you really new, really state of the art. It should just show that you're good. I code on question. Is it okay? Yeah, it's okay, but I would still suggest try lead code or something else. Best platform to practice DSA. I mean, I usually practice on lead code. So, is it necessary to get an internship in your second year? It depends on your college, but it's always good to get do internships. Okay, they give you the taste of the real world, software development. What type of problem to solve on lead code? The kind of the topics that you're focusing on, and I already mentioned the topics. Okay, lead code sometimes seem confusing. So yeah, initially it will, but with time you will get better at it. Thank you. You're welcome, Naval. Thank you. So I think we are done with Q&A. Okay. For more questions, just join the Telegram community, and yeah, we'll see you there. I'm working on a different stream, but want to switch to a distributed. Yes, you can. Yes, you definitely can. A lot of people do that actually. Okay. So okay. So it was great connecting this session. It was great meeting you all, and hope to see you guys soon. And yeah, let's connect on LinkedIn. Let's see you on pre-placed. Okay, cool. Bye bye everyone. Enjoy your weekend. Happy weekend. Bye bye.